Raines. Jonathan Raines? We spoke on the phone? You said I could come and stay here. He stuck out his hand, peering at me through a pair of thick wire-rimmed eyeglasses. Good heavens. I remembered his call, but I certainly didn't remember telling him any such thing. Mr. Raines, if I did invite you, that was back in January, and since then I haven't heard another word from you. He looked chagrined. I know, I'm sorry, it was rude of me, but I've been out of the country and... Oh dear, I hope you won't send me away because, in addition to being very late on my PhD dissertation, I've come all the way from Boston to research it here. I'm embarrassingly short of funds. Jonathan Raines, I recalled very dimly, was related to 3 of those old friends of mine from the city, and he was a graduate student of music history, or something like that. He'd been fuzzy on the details, and when he'd phoned, I hadn't given them much thought anyway. At the time, June had seemed very far away. Winter in down east Maine makes summer seem like something that only happens to other more fortunate people, probably on some other planet. I hadn't even made my no summer guests resolution until April, so I could have invited him, I supposed, then forgotten I had done it. Why else, after all, would he have called, if not to get me to do just that? And now, here he was. Please, let me help you, he said, bending to take the glass ceiling fixture, and dropping it. The crash was hideous. Oh gosh, I apologize. I'll replace it, of course. Vexedly, he began gathering up big glass shards. Mr. Raines, I'm terribly sorry, but no matter what I said months ago, you can see I'm in no condition for having company. The house was an 1823 federal clapboard with 3 full floors, an attic, a cellar, and a 2-story L, and much of it at the moment was almost as torn apart as the guest room. In addition to my larger projects, I was repainting window sashes, tightening doorknobs that had taken to falling off and rolling all over the place, and planning to repair the tiny but wonderfully convenient when it worked downstairs hall bathroom, which we called, inaccurately lately, which was why it needed repairing, the flush. And, I went on, waving at the glass bits, I'm afraid that item is not replaceable. It was an antique, probably from... He was examining one of the shards. Walmart, he pronounced. Squinting through the eyeglasses, he went on. See? The sticker's still on it. Probably someone else broke the original one and replaced it with this. Well, I'd never seen it up close before. He looked up, smiling. Not a bad copy. Funny, isn't it? How an object can seem to be one thing and end up being another. Hilarious. At the moment, I wasn't sure which was worse, believing the thing had been precious and irretrievably broken, or finding out that it wasn't. He straightened, and right then I began thinking there was something not quite kosher about him, as I spotted the gold chain he wore around his neck. For a professional student, it was a very strong-looking, muscular neck, and from it a small white pendant hung dead center at the hollow of his throat. A shark's tooth. How unusual, I thought, as he adjusted his glasses, scanned the room through them, spotted a final shard of glass, and dropped it onto the newspaper. Thank you, I said. You can put that mess in the dustbin. Come along, and I'll show you. If I could get him downstairs, I could get him out onto the porch, and from there to a motel or a bed and breakfast. Waiting for him to go ahead of me, I put my hand on the doorknob. It was loose, like all the rest of them. Patience, I counseled myself. Meanwhile, he asked casually, as if inquiring about the weather, do you still think this place is haunted? Whereupon every door in the house, but the one I was holding, slammed shut with a window-rattling bang. TVs and radios began playing, the washer began filling, and the dryer began spinning emptily, and Monday let out an eerie, piercing howl that reminded me, unpleasantly, of the Baskervilles. Raines didn't turn a hair. Well, he said cheerfully, on his way downstairs with the broken glass and newspapers.